what? See how closely they're zoomed in on us right now? It's because they're trying to crop out the guy right next to me. But they can't keep him cropped out any longer.
You can't keep him down.
Stuart Varney, host of Varney & Company and America Built on Fox Business. Stuart,
good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
What can I do for you?
Well, we were...
I drove you around the parking lot right there.
We're really dumb and we don't understand the supply chain. I think that's what our president said. So we were hoping maybe you might be able to explain it to us.
Let me chime in, shall I? Inflation is President Biden's biggest problem, and I think it's a largely self-inflicted wound. He's not done anything about the supply chain. I think you've got numbers on the number of ships outside the ports in California. It's 83 as of Friday night, and it's 17 days to unload them. The president's not done anything about that. The vaccine mandate is cutting the supply of labour. That's part of what's inflationary. He's cutting the energy supply. When you cut the energy supply and you're going into a cold winter, what happens to prices? What happens to inflation? Obviously, they go straight up. And you had figures earlier this morning on how much money has been spent and allocated. You've got $3 trillion already approved, $3.3 trillion still to come, plus $1.85 trillion for Build Back Better, and trillions printed by the Federal Reserve. That is a wall of money going into a society chasing fewer goods. The result is inflation. I think it's going to be bad news next year, because there's a crunch coming.
But they have to know that this is going to happen. There's even people like Larry Summers, a Democrat, head of Harvard University. They warned that this would happen. How do they not know this is going to happen, and why are they moving forward with this?
I think deep down they know it, but they can't afford to let the left wing down and oppose the Build Back Better, because that's basically socialism. And the president is hooked into it, he's tied to it. He wants to be FDR or LBJ. He wants to create a new kind of society. And that's what he's going for. That's what he wants his legacy to be. And that's over and above the dangers of inflation.
And damn the torpedoes, if it causes more inflation, then so be it. But they're actually trying to sell it to us as though spending more money will solve inflation.
Yeah, that's what Jen Psaki said.
Not just Jen Psaki, but Kamala Harris and Joe Biden himself. Take a look at this, Stuart.
We, as I said earlier, fully appreciate the significance of things costing more. It's a big deal.
We'll see ease, and I say yes, ease, lower inflationary pressures on our economy.
Inflation is already expected to be substantially decelerate next year. The bipartisan infrastructure bill that he will sign on Monday and the Build Back Better bill that we are working to move forward will not add to inflationary pressure.
Can I just chime in real fast right there?
Yeah, I know. I wish we had a camera on you when Jen Psaki was talking.
Inflation is expected to be substantially lower. That's what you just said. I don't know anybody on Wall Street who thinks it's going to be substantially lower. It certainly won't be back to the 2 or 3% level that we knew before COVID. It's more likely to be in the 5 to 6% range where we are now. And how you can possibly imagine that you throw trillions of dollars into an economy. I mean, trillions upon trillions upon trillions. That's inflationary, any way you slice it. And we've never, ever seen anything like this before.
One of the reasons your show is so popular is you don't just do Wall Street, you do politics.
I do.
There's politics involved in this.
Yes.
We were talking about it a little bit earlier. Do you think they're making a cynical play? We know it's not going to affect inflation. We know we're going to get shellacked in the 22 elections. But if we pass this, we're going to dare Republicans in 24 and 26 to take away programs that we believe will now be popular with the American people. So now we're battling over the child tax credit or universal pre-K. Are they cynical enough to say inflation, we'll deal with that, but that's our political play?
I think you're exactly right. I think what they want to do is jam through some new social programs.
Addicted.
Just get it in there because you can never take it away. And then after they lose in 2022, they'll be able to say, look at you Republicans. You're going to repeal those wonderful things that we've done for everybody? Doesn't matter about inflation, doesn't matter about interest rates. People like these programs, and they've got to stay. And you're going to vote against them? It's a cynical play.
How should people prepare for what you see coming in terms of inflation?
If you see it now, buy it. Because if you wait, it's probably going to be up more, and you might not be able to get hold of it.
I need a new washing machine. I should get it now.
Wow.
And that's the insidious...
If you can get it. I mean, can you get a washing machine now? Can you get a fridge? Can you get a car?
That's the insidious incentive that inflation creates in a society. It turns you into, which we already were, a materialistic spending society. It turns you away from saving. Because to your point, it will be more expensive tomorrow. And, you know, we can be flooded with stats. Here's two that I think are pretty Consumer prices the highest in 31 years. Highest. And what does that mean? More Americans are going to discount stores. 65%, I believe the number is, 65% increase in shopping, rose 65% ahead of holidays at discount prices type stores.
And Dollar Store. And
so the Dollar Store, is it going to be the $1.50 store?
Well, it already is, actually.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah,
the Dollar Store.
The $1.50 store. I suppose.
Stuart, I want to end. So I want to try to find, if not positive, a somewhat solution-based way to end this conversation. So the Biden administration says we can't do anything about the supply chain. It's outside of our control. They seem to be saying their spending bill fixes inflation. Stuart Varney is president of the United States. Help fix the supply chain and the inflation crisis for us.
Change the rules at California ports, allow independent contractors, truckers, to go and pick up the cargo, and allow trucks that are more than 10 years old to go pick up goods at the California ports, and then kill Build Back Better. Kill it. Stone dead. Don't do it. Don't go anywhere near it. Repeal it if you're not going to repeal it if I was the president. You wouldn't have it if you're the president.
Stuart Varney 2024.
Well, unfortunately, the Constitution doesn't allow for Stuart, but he could be the advisor for any of us.
If you're not careful, I will be.
You're so right. The government touches the supply chain at so many points. And for Pete Buttigieg and for Joe Biden to pretend like they can't do anything to help is a lie.
Well, and what
It's
it is
wrong.
at the port, you're right. To
It's
the
wrong.
10-year thing with the trucks, that's about future electric vehicles and
That's
fossil
right.
fuels. And then the independent contractors, it's all about unions.
You can't
That's
step
right.
in on an emergency basis and change the rules for a few months while we clear the backlog. You can't do that. You're the president of the United States. You're the governor of California. You can't do that to help the country out.
They don't
Get out
care.
of here.
They
A
don't
state
care.
of emergency? They don't do states of emergency. do
Oh, yeah, I guess they do.
It's 83.
please.
I know, they find it
Look
for
at that right
Yeah,
on
for
your screen.
everything.
You're
Yeah,
looking
look
at
at that.
83 ships in a holding pattern, which Stuart mentioned earlier. 17 days is the average of how long they'll stuck in that holding pattern to get unloaded at the Los Angeles and Long Beach harbor.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
I
is
wonder
right
if
before
there's-
Thanksgiving.
And I wonder if there's, and I don't know the answer to this, maybe somebody here does, but I wonder if there's some environmental repercussions for, these ships just sitting there. Something can happen. You never know.
There's repercussions for all of us in
All of
America
it, yeah.
because you can't get what you want.
That's right.
right.
And
it's
it's
gonna be
your fault.
expensive.
You shouldn't be demanding so much.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's what they told
We
us.
should get comfortable.
I'll do a mea culpa.
Wanting
I'm
less.
so sorry.
By the way, that is what happens in communist countries. People, they normalize a lower standard of living. They normalize wait times. They normalize shortages and empty shelves. That's where we're heading. I'm seeing things I never thought would ever happen in America.
At cocktail parties, people used to talk about the rapid rise in real estate prices. And then it was the rapid rise of Wall Street. Now, just look what I paid for my dinner. Just look what I paid for my gas. That's what's going on anecdotally in America today. They're very aware of this problem. And President Biden's shoving it off.
Well, Pete, you mentioned it. It's popular. It's on Fox Business, 9 a.m. every weekday. You can catch also American Built, both shows hosted, that's by the way, on Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Both shows hosted by the man we just spent a good 10 minutes talking to. And you can listen to for hours every day on Fox Business, Stuart Varney.
Thank you very much, everyone.
By the way,
Appreciate it.
I was telling you, I was in South Dakota and West Palm Beach, and the name I heard time and time again, Stuart
Varney?
Yeah.
Love that guy.
People just love that accent, too.
Oh,
It's
that's
just
it.
The economic news just feels nicer coming out of Stuart Varney.
Well, thank you.
Stuart.
You're very kind. Thank you
All
very
right.
much, everyone. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.